friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name's Alicia. I love doing makeup reviews and tutorials. If you haven't subscribed already, I hope you will do so before you leave. In today's video, I'm doing a full face of Rare Beauty makeup. I've had some of these things for a while and I just haven't tried them out, but I did pick up her Always an Optimist setting powder and the Warm Wishes bronzer stick. So I figured I would just go ahead and do a full face, go ahead and test all this stuff out, give you guys some first impressions and a demo. If you're interested in that, then just stay tuned and grab yourself a drink because it's going to be a long one. Okay, I've got you pulled in a little bit closer, that way you can see really how these products are applying and wearing throughout this video. Now, before we begin, I first want to start off and just talk about Rare Beauty in case you're not familiar with it. Rare Beauty was a makeup line that was created by Selena Gomez. As you know, Selena Gomez is a celebrity. It's not going to affect my opinion of this line at all, but in general, I do really like her. I think that she's like one of the best, like as far as actual personalities and character of celebrities. She was diagnosed with lupus. She almost actually lost her life. But you know, that's like a lifelong disease, and the way that she carries herself and she handles herself and her business, I just think it's very inspirational. I also like that her makeup line in general is very inclusive. The foundation that I'm going to be talking about has 47 shades. To launch a makeup brand with 47 shades, I think is just amazing. And her prices, while they're not drugstore prices, but they are not like the highest end prices either. I don't think this is like a money grab for her at all. I really think this is something that she has her heart into and that she really takes the time to create great products, which I can appreciate as a consumer. So I do like that aspect of her line. Now, having said that, these products can be purchased on rarebeauty.com or on Sephora. So we're going to go ahead and get right in. And as you can tell, I have nothing on my face. The only thing I have on is my moisturizer, eye cream, and lip balm. So I have not been using primer recently just because, let me grab it. This little beauty right here, this Marc Jacobs Youthquake moisturizer. I know this is not a Marc Jacobs video, but this moisturizer is so good. I have felt like I haven't needed a primer. Now, she does have two primers in her line. She has got a pore diffusing primer, which I hear rave reviews on. I don't own it. And she also has like a luminizing type primer. I haven't heard as rave reviews on that one, but as I mentioned, I haven't been using primer recently, so I'm not going to in this video, just so things stay consistent and I can really tell how this foundation is wearing. So that is what we're going to go ahead and do. Now, this is the concealer, or not the concealer, this is the foundation itself. Beautiful component. I really love all of these components that she has. I think they are so cute. They look like retro. I actually keep these standing out on a little stand I have over, you probably can't see it anymore, but I have it like over here with a bunch of palettes and stuff. I keep these out just because they're so pretty. But yeah, this is the foundation here. I have got mine in the shade 160C, and as I mentioned, she launched this with 47 shades. So I feel certain that you can find your shade in this. Now, Sephora has got a great shade match little feature on their app. So if you know one foundation that you have like a perfect shade match in, you can tell them, hey, this is my perfect shade, and then they will see if there is a shade for you that matches in her line, which I think is fantastic. Now, I use that feature all the time. I use that feature when I purchase this, and I do think it's going to be a near damn perfect match. Now, this retails for $29. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shake. I don't know if you can hear how liquidy it is. It is it kind of gives me like serum type vibes. Now, whenever you open this up, it's such a nasty sound. This is the applicator here, so it's just a big doe foot. Some people won't like that because it's not as clean, I guess, but I really don't care. It's only me using this makeup. And yeah, that looks like a pretty good match. That is a gross sound, but okay, so I'm just gonna kind of dot this around my face. I have had a lot of stress recently with work and in my personal life, so my face is just going crazy. All this stuff on my cheeks is just discoloration. That's not breakouts. The only actual breakouts that I have right now are on my chin. So yeah, that's lovely. 32 and still got breakouts. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use, this is just the brush I always use. This is a flat top kabuki from IT Cosmetics. And I'm just going to press this into my skin. And you can tell that is such a good match. Highly, highly recommend if you're ever buying a foundation to go on Sephora and use that feature. My perfect match is Yukon from NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation, which I have a review on my channel of, and I have raved about it many times on my channel. Purchased multiple ones, but that's the one that I always use whenever I'm buying a foundation on Sephora. All right, now I don't have an eyeshadow primer from her, so I'm just going to kind of put this on my eyes as well. And thinking about this, I probably should have done my eyes first. I don't know what. I normally always do my eyes first. I don't know why I didn't in this video. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead. I have everything listed out on my paper over here with notes. So I was just going in that order, and yeah, so messed myself up a little bit. That's okay though. That'll give us really an opportunity to see how this eyeshadow palette performs. All right, so this is what my skin is looking like right now. I would say this is definitely, it's odd because it is like a serum foundation. It actually gave me more coverage than I thought that it would. It is like a medium coverage. It's not a high medium. It is just medium. But I do like that it is really undetectable. Like, it just blended in with my skin. It looks like my skin. So I really do like that aspect of it. Moving right along, this is the concealer. And I just think it's so cute, the little matching ones. Oh, I just love it. I love it. It gives me like 60s or like 70s type vibes. I don't know. I just think it's so cute. Now this concealer retails for $19. Guys, ones at the drugstore are retailing for like $13, $14. I mean, like, come on, look at this. I have got mine in the shade, again, 160C. And as you can tell, if you get the same shade in your foundation, the concealer is automatically lighter. So I really like how she did that. Like, it's not the same exact color. She knew that the concealer needed to be a little bit lighter than the foundation. So I really love how she did that. So it takes the guesswork out of it for you. If you can find your foundation shade, you automatically will know your concealer shade. Now, the concealer retails for $19, if I didn't mention, and again, 47 shades. So I'm gonna go ahead, and this has got a weird doe foot, right? Like, look at that. Kind of weird. But we're gonna go ahead, and I'm gonna put this under my eyes. I really love how light everything is. And also, there's kind of a scent. It kind of has that, like, well, for this, it kind of has that, like, honestly, kind of the Wet n Wild foundation type of a scent. But yeah, kind of like that paint-ish smell. All right, and I told you I got all kinds of stuff happening on my chin down here, so I'm just gonna kind of dot that around. And I did have a spot here, so I'm just gonna kind of put a little bit there as well. With the concealer, normally I use like a little fluffy brush like this, but because this formula is so thin and because I want coverage, I'm going to use a flat top foundation brush, and I'm just going to press this into my skin where I applied that concealer. Always have redness around my nose, which I think is like a hormonal type thing with women in general. Now this product really does feel nice. It feels very moisturizing. Definitely not drying at all. And because it is kind of that serum consistency, if you put this in the fridge or something before you use it, just like if you did with normal serums, it would be so refreshing in the morning. It's already kind of cooling just because, but yeah, I think that would be kind of nice to do. Like on days where you feel like a cold or your allergies or something like that coming on, I think that would be so nice. Okay, so that looks really good. Like, I'm impressed with that. All right, and again, I'm just gonna kind of put this on my eyelids just because I don't have an eyeshadow primer. Now, she does make an eyeshadow primer. That's one thing that I do not have. Okay, so this is the look of the foundation. As you can tell, it just looks really glowy and healthy. It looks like my skin. So I am really digging that. I like the coverage. I mean, I think this, with that concealer, it definitely gets it up to like high medium / full coverage for me. And I am completely happy with that. So we're gonna go ahead now and get into one of her new products, which is this Always an Optimist Soft Radiance Setting Powder. Now, the setting powder retails for $22. This one comes in 4 different shades. I have mine in the shade Light. And this is what the packaging looks like here. Again, just so simple and pretty. I think it looks very elegant. That's different. This is what the packaging on the inside looks like. I don't even know how you get in this thing. Oh, okay. All right, so it's got a little sliding top here. So that's nice. That way you're not gonna have powder like leaking out all in this. Like if you're traveling, you have this in a makeup bag, a bunch of powder's not gonna be out, and when you open it, it's gonna explode on you. So I do really like that. All right, so all I'm gonna do is dump a little bit of this out in my little container here, the lid. And I'm gonna take, this is an IT Cosmetics powder brush. I love this brush so much. Highly recommend IT Cosmetics brushes. But I'm just going to take the powder that I have in here. I'm gonna swirl my brush in here. I'm gonna tap this off so any excess will fall back into my lid. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start setting. Now, I always set first the areas that I applied concealer. So I'm gonna start with under my eyes. I'm gonna dump a little bit more of this out. All right, got a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead, swirl my brush again, tap this off, and then this should be all we need. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and do the forehead. All right, and then with whatever is left in here, I'm gonna go ahead and just powder my cheeks. All right, I'm gonna close this back up. All All right, so everything, my cheeks still feel a little bit kind of like dewy feeling, like I still feel moisture on my cheeks. Not on my nose, and see, I still do kind of on my chin too. I think it's just that foundation, honestly, just how moisturizing it is. So we'll have to see how this lasts throughout the day. I definitely will update the description box down below with how this wore. But yeah, that powder, it still looks like skin. It doesn't look cakey at all. Maybe like right here in this little area, but if I'm gonna get cakey anywhere, that's usually where it's at, is right up in here. I will say it looks a little heavy right there, but overall, I don't think it looks too bad. I think it still looks like my skin, and I'm happy with that. All right, so next up, we're gonna go ahead and go into the bronzer stick. Now this is also new, just released here recently. This retails for $23, and this one comes in 4 shades as well. I have got mine in the shade Happy Soul. This is what this product looks like here. It is a stick. Now, normally with these, I would kind of like rub my brush on here and then apply it to my face, just because I feel like if I just put it on like this, it could disrupt the foundation and stuff that I have underneath. So, all right, so I am gonna grab this Morphe and Jaclyn Hill brush. I actually really liked the collaborations as far as the brushes go. They're some of my favorite brushes. So this is the JH12, and this, you could just use like a foundation type brush, but I think I'm gonna do both ways. I'm gonna do it how I normally would do it, and then I also am going to draw it on and see how that works as well. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna give you like a swatch of this. So a nice like light kind of, it's more of like a neutral tone to me, which is what I prefer. So we're gonna go ahead. It's very creamy. All right, I'm gonna draw it on first. We're gonna see how this blends out. Now, I am not the biggest like fan of cream bronzers. I just prefer powders in general. I'm getting more into the creams. Like I tried a cream highlighter from Urban Decay recently. It was from the Prince collection, and I absolutely love that highlighter. But in general, just like cream bronzers, they're a little intimidating to me because I feel like you can go overboard so easy. And when I'm using all cream products, I do not take my big fluffy blending brush that I always use and you guys always hear me talk about. I don't do that at the end. I just kind of leave it how it is. So if it blends out, it blends out. And if it doesn't, well, not cool. And again, because I have never used this before, I may have went a little heavier than I should have. It is blending out nicely though. I mean, you definitely have some playtime with this. I mean, as you can tell right here, I really like how that blended out. I'm fine with how that is. I just think cream products in general take a little bit more work, but then again, it does look like your skin, and it does look glowy and dewy and all of those things. So just for me, I'm kind of, I don't know, powders are usually the way I go. I do like the shade of this. I think the shade works really well with my skin tone. And like I said, it does, I mean, it blended out seamlessly. You saw that. So, and it didn't disrupt my coverage either. So I do like that. Now I'm going to take this how I normally would, and I'm just going to kind of rub my brush on here and apply it that way. Ooh, 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 ooh. That is damn hella pigmented. Holy shit. Wow. Whoa. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this brush off. I mean, you guys saw how much I did on here. It wasn't a lot, I didn't feel like, but wow. Okay, so she's pigmented. I definitely would say I would probably just swipe this one on, to be honest with you, because I'm gonna have to really work to blend this out now. But yeah, I just use like patting motions and blend it in that way. That actually, I mean, you saw how much was on there and how nicely that blended out. I'm actually pretty impressed with that bronzer. Out of all the stick bronzers that I've tried, this one is definitely the easiest to use. So that is really, really nice. I do have the Huda one, and I am going to do a video testing that one out. So we'll see. But yeah, out of all the ones I've tried, this one is the best. So I really like the undertone of it. Blended out seamlessly. Literally just looks like my skin. So really, really like that. Next up, I'm going to try out, this is her liquid illuminator, and this is in the shade Mesmerize. Now, this retails for $22, and she has got 7 different shades in her liquid highlights. So again, funky little doe foot. All right, so I still have that bronzer on here. I'm just gonna swatch this beside it. Holy cow. Wow, that is freaking gorgeous. That would look pretty as an eye, like just all over the eyelid, making it look kind of like wet. Yeah, that is gorgeous. All right, we are gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna kind of pop this right along there. I hope that's not too much. I'm gonna put it right there, here, here. All right, let's go ahead and start with that and see how this blends out. All right, I think I'm just going to use this brush. It's just like a soft, fluffy brush. It's a highlighter brush, but this is from La Rousse. Super nice brand. I got that in a Ipsy bag, I think. Super pricey brushes, but they are really, really good. Look at that. This is the kind of highlighters that I like. Like you can tell that you have something on, but it's like, what is that, you know? Those are the kind of highlighters that I like. Now take in mind, this is being applied over a powder, and it went on just fine. Like, no issues. It is kind of picking up the texture just a little bit on my skin, so I'm not the biggest fan of that. But man, that shade is really nice, really nice. Okay, really liking that. On the other side, I think I'm going to try to apply it with my finger and try to blend it out that way. So again, I'm just gonna do like 3, actually I'm only gonna do 2 dots. Maybe that was the issue. I'm still gonna blend out over the brow with this brush. All right, let's see if using your finger applies it any differently. All right, sorry if that was blocking y'all's view. All right. I will say, I think it melds into the skin a little bit better whenever you use your finger. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, I look how just glowy that looks and healthy. I love that. So yeah, 22 bucks. And this, look how much product is in here. This would last you like forever. Now we are on to blushes. Now I have got several blushes from her. I've got two that are in these little pots here. These retail for $21. They come in 4 shades. I picked up 2 of them. So I have got Nearly Apricot, and I have also got Nearly Neutral. Now I have tried these before. Honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of these, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you a swatch of them. They're super creamy, super creamy. So, all right, so here is Nearly Neutral, and there is the Apricot shade. So just really nice, like everyday shades. They do have little mirrors in here, magnetic packaging, super cute. I think it's really nice that she could keep these at like a $21 price point with the packaging that they have. Today though, I think I'm going to go into these liquid blushes. Now I have got 2 shades. I've got Joy, and then I also have Bliss. These retail for $20, and there are 10 different shades. I think she recently came out with some new shades of these. Now, I don't know. I typically definitely would go for this one. This is just like, this is a me color. But I think just maybe for the sake of this video, I think I'm going to try out this one that's a little bit more poppy. Let's see how it goes. All right, so I'm just going to pop maybe like a dot or 2 on there. I'm going to start with that. This is normally the brush that I use with like any cream blushes or anything like that. So I think I'm going to use this. Holy crap. What? Y'all. We may have made a critical error here. What the hell? Well, I'm gonna see if I can remedy this. I'm gonna take out my foundation brush and put my foundation brush over this. Wow, that was just insane. I mean, I put 2 freaking dots. Look at this. Look like a freaking Oompa Loompa. Okay, so I just wiped that off. I'm gonna redo it. Really pissed me off, actually. But yeah, I mean, you saw how much I used, so I guess you need to use like the tiniest little bit of this. I had no clue that it was that pigmented, but yeah, I'm just going to fix this, but you can really see the coverage that this gives. All I did was wipe off, you know, my whole cheek area, but you can see, you know, how much of a coverage that this foundation actually really has. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix this up, get it back to where we were, and then we'll be back and we will try the other blush. All right, guys, we are back. I've got everything caught up again now, back to normal. I definitely could have cut all of that out and you guys never would have seen it, never would have known, but I think it's important to leave that in there just so you know. I mean, shit happens whenever you're doing first impressions, and I want you guys to see that. I want you to see the whole experience. So now, having said that, now that we are looking normal, not like an Oompa Loompa, I think I want to take a break on the blushes for a minute, and I think I want to do the eyes. So that's what we're gonna do. I have got these 2 palettes. These were the first eyeshadow palettes that she came out with. These retail for $25 each, which is not a bad price at all. You open these up, and the only thing is they all are metallic shades. So they're very pigmented. This one I have actually used before. The other one I don't believe I have used yet. This one here, gorgeous shades though. Look at this one. It doesn't look like anything, but look at that. I think that shade is just so pretty. I don't know, on the eyes, I think it would be gorgeous. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and just swatch all of these for y'all. All right, so, okay, so this is this palette here. This is called the Magnetic Spirit, and I just love that pink shade. All right, next up, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this palette for you guys. This is the Confident Energy palette. This is that palette all swatched out. That was just one swatch. So y'all see how intense those first 3 shades are? Freaking crazy. So yeah, $25 for those 2. Those are not the ones that I'm going to be demoing in this video though. The one that we're going to be using is this one right here. I have never used this one. This is the Discovery palette. This retails for $29. And out of her eyeshadow palettes, this is the newest, while it's not new, is the newest one that she's come out with. So I'm not sure if it's called the Discovery palette or if it's the True to Myself palette. I don't know, but I love that, True to Myself. And then when you open it up, it says "You are rare." So I love that. I love like the meaning behind her brand and all of that stuff. So this is what this packaging looks like. It kind of, it's odd. I don't like how it's shaped at all. It like dips in kind of like a little tray. But yeah, that's that. Does have a little cover. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out. And here are your shades here. So this one, you have got some mattes. You've got this glitter in the center. And you've also got some like satins and like kind of metallic-y type shades over here. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch all of these. So here is this palette all swatched out here. I wish I would have done the eyes first. I'm tempted to use that glitter shade, but I just don't know. I don't want it to completely mess up my look. We'll see. We'll see. We're going to go ahead and get right in. Alright, so as you can tell with this palette, these definitely are a lot like just softer colors in general. This is more of like an everyday palette. And we are going to go ahead and get right in. I'm going to go in with this shade first, and I'm going to put that in my crease. Alright, as usual, I'm going to do one eye on camera. I'll catch up the other eye off of camera. These shades are blending really nicely. I will say, like with this big fluffy blending brush I have, it almost is too big to get into this, the shape of this eyeshadow. Like I had to put it in the center where it's the biggest, and it still took up the whole entire thing. So if I had a critique, that would be it. Like make squares or circles or something. But yeah, I think that this is like an eyeshadow look. This is an eyeshadow look where you can mix and match, which is gonna be what I do. So I'm gonna build this shade up just a little bit. Okay, so that blended out very nicely indeed. And I'm just gonna kind of blend this up. Normally I would use my face highlighter up here, but we may have to pull out like a powder highlight for our inner corner because I don't really see an inner corner shade in this palette either. So again, that's kind of another critique. You definitely would have to pull in for something else for that. All right, I think we're gonna go for it. I think we're gonna go for it with that glitter. So I'm gonna take like a flat eyeshadow brush. This is from Laura Lee Los Angeles. This is the L27. Any flat shader brush will do. And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go into this kind of like plummy brown type of a shade, and I'm gonna pack this all over my lid. I really like that shade. Very nice. All right, so I'm gonna bring this all the way up to like where my eyelid ends, so I'm fully covering my whole lid with this. And you see how it kind of like flared out right there? I don't know why or how it did that. I'm gonna go back in with this blending brush, and I'm just gonna kind of blend that together. And then I feel like we lost the intensity on the lid. So I'm just gonna go back over that. Not the best, not the best. I really like these two tones, but as far as like performance goes, I'm not sold yet. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go in with this glitter, and hopefully we are not making a drastic error here. I'm gonna go ahead and press this onto the lid. All right. And then as I get to the inner and outer corner, I'm just gonna be a little bit more light with it. I think what I'm gonna do is take a little like smudger type brush, something I can be very precise with. I'm gonna dip this in there, and I'm literally tapping this on. And again, I want the sparkles to be more sparse on the inner and outer corners, so I'm fine with that. Okay, now I feel like using a pretty precise little blender brush. I'm gonna go back into this shade here, looking down, and I'm just gonna kind of brush along the edges. All right, so that is that. It actually ended up okay. I really I don't have any fallout down here, so that's really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and touch up the other eye. Hopefully it goes as well, and we'll be back for the lower lash line. I'm back, got both eyes done. I had a little tiny bit of fallout right here, but I was able to brush it away as far as the glitter goes. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go into one of my all-time favorite highlighters ever. This is Becca Opal, such a classic. I hate that Becca is no more, but I have this and I will continue to use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go in with a fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna put this under the brow. Such a stunning highlight. When I found out that they were going out of business, I did purchase a lot of backup highlighters from them, just because their highlighters are so freaking bomb, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to get them anymore. So yeah. And it does look like I'm starting to have a little bit of issues with this glitter. I'm going to go ahead and brush that off, brush it away. Okay. It was cleaned up, rectified. Should be good, I hope. All right. Now, I'm going to attempt to curl my lashes with this glitter. Now we are going to go ahead and start working on the lower lash line. So I've got just a flat liner brush, and I'm going to go into this shade right here, that dark brownish shade. And I'm going to get this close to my lower lashes. Next, I'm going to take a fluffy little pencil type brush, and I'm going to go back into this shade here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back into this highlighter for the inner corner. I'm just gonna use that same little pencil brush. All right, I'm gonna catch up the other eye, put on my mascara, and then we'll be back for the cheeks. Okay, now it's time for the blushes. Now, she does have a mascara. I don't own that one, so I just used the one that I've been using, the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes Volume 2. But I have heard rave reviews about her mascara. A lot of people in their favorites videos at the end of 2021, that was their favorite mascara or one of their favorites. So I do want to try that out, but I have such a collection of mascaras that I need to go through. I don't know when I'll ever get the opportunity to try it out, but I would like to. She also does have a brow pencil. I don't have that as well. I just use my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in medium brown. And we are going to go ahead and get in with the blush. Now, because this one did not work out for me, I'm going to try this one now. This is in the shade Bliss. I'm going to give it a little shake just because. All right, and since I put 2 dots on the other one, I'm going to just put the tiniest little dot on here, and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to use a fluffy brush this time and blend this out. Yeah, so those are just super duper pigmented, is what I'm thinking. And I kind of would like to use a little bit more of a dense brush just to kind of blend that out. All right, I'm gonna try over here. Just one little dot. And a lot of people, I know that this is like their favorite blush. That's why I'm like, why am I having such a hard time with it? It's okay. It's okay. I think I'm gonna try to put like the tiniest little dot on each side. Put a little bit more. I do really love blush. I think it makes you look so healthy when you've got on blush. I feel like this blush kind of took away a little bit of our foundation coverage. Let me know if y'all think I'm crazy, but I do. All right, this is where we are going to end it. It is still a little bit blush heavy, even though this is such a light color. And I mean, y'all saw how little I put on, but yeah, I feel like this cheek is a little bit heavier than this one over here. So call me crazy, but I'm gonna put the tiniest little speck, literally a little speck on there, and blend this out just to try to get them a little bit more even, because I do have to go into work today, even though it's a Saturday. All right, so this is the finished look. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, the best setting spray ever. I'm gonna go ahead and set. All right, I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna throw on, this is the Stay Vulnerable Glossy Balm, and she's got, I think, 4 shades of this. I've just got a little sample, but the full size retails for $18. I have mine in the shade Nearly Neutral. Such a tiny little container. Ooh, I like this color. It's like essentially about the color of my lips, but it just makes them stand out a little bit more. I really like this. It does feel like a balm, but it definitely has color. I would say I really like that. This is the finished makeup look. I'm decently happy with it. I do still think my cheeks look sunburnt. Let's just go ahead and we'll go through the thoughts on everything we tried out. So the foundation and concealer, huge wins. Both of these together retail for about the price of my normal like NARS foundation, so I think that the price is right. This is extremely lightweight, feels like a serum, kind of cooling even when it goes on just because of the texture that it is. Medium coverage on the foundation, but when you add the concealer, you get to like pretty, like a high medium / full type of coverage. It looks like your skin, it's breathable, feels moisturizing. I've got nothing bad to say about this. I've been wearing this for over, I'd probably say I've been filming for like an hour and a half because I had that little mishap with the blush. But yeah, I mean, it still is wearing beautifully. So I do really like these. The powder was decent as well. I mean, there was nothing that like wowed me about the powder, you know what I mean? But I mean, I like the packaging of it. I think that the price is pretty good. So, I mean, the powder is fine as well. It's not a standout product, but there's nothing wrong with it either. The bronzer stick, I was highly impressed with. I did not expect to like this at all. Normally, I don't like bronzer sticks, just in general. But this one was so easy to use. I actually prefer drawing it on the face, which again is new for me. Normally, I would use my brush and apply it that way. I actually prefer drawing this one on. It didn't disrupt my product underneath. Went fine over powders, blended in seamlessly. I have nothing bad to say about this. I think that this is a great product. The highlighter, I freaking love this highlighter, and if you get this, it will last you forever. I have mine again in the shade Mesmerize. I love this so much. I would say out of everything that I tried, foundation, concealer, bronzer stick, and the highlighter, those are definitely the standouts. I think these are all amazing products. So yeah. All right, now moving on to some things that I do not like as much. Again, I feel like my cheeks just look burnt even with using this super light shade. I think this is the lightest shade that they have. It's called Bliss. This one, holy hell, like no. Maybe I use too much. I mean, I use 2 dots. Maybe if I use like a little speck. But again, I don't like having to baby my products. I like to be able to put them on, not think about it, and they just work. So yeah, I mean, this one is okay. Like, it looks fine, but I do feel like the coverage was reduced whenever I put this on. Like, you could not see this previously when I was just wearing the foundation. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's my thoughts on this. While they're only $20, for me, unless you're wearing just like a tinted moisturizer and you just want to put this on for like a little bit of color, I would say that's how you would wear these. But for me, like, overall, not a fan of those. Now, these I did not try in this video. I'm gonna have to refresh my memory on these, but the last time I wore these, I think it wore off too quickly is why I didn't like it. But yeah, I'll have to do another video freshening up my memory, but these retail for $21. Great packaging. I would say these would probably be easier to use than those liquid blushes for sure. But yeah, I'll have to refresh my memory. I can't really give you a solid thought on those. The eyeshadows. I like the finished look. I think that the glitter actually worked really well, which is surprising because usually I don't like pressed glitters that much, but this one worked extremely well. Now, I did have to kind of work with these shadows and kind of like build them up. I definitely don't think this is like the best quality eyeshadow palette by any means. Having said that, I think that the glitter that I tried, that was probably like that's definitely the standout in this palette to me. And a glitter, I mean, it's never safe to put near your eyes, so it's just going to be up to you if you use glitters or not. I personally do. I haven't had any irritation. Like I said, I've had this on now for probably about an hour. No irritation, so that is great. I don't see any fallout either. The little bit of fallout that I did have, I was able to just brush it away with a dry brush, and that worked out perfectly as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a good everyday type palette, I guess, but it's not my favorite, to be honest with you. These palettes from her, I would say, are more standout to me than this one, even though these are not like typical everyday palettes. I just think that the shadows in here performed so much better. I mean, you can see the swatches. These swatched insane, specifically this palette here, which I have tried before. I really want to try to use these two probably in the summertime. Those swatches were insane. So that is my thoughts on Rare Beauty. Definitely some hits and misses, but that's the case with all brands really. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.